Atiku went on fishing expedition to US. Even Alice in Wonderland knew her destination. Tinubu tells Supreme Court not to allow fresh evidence. Can you imagine? So what are you saying? That Atiku went on fishing expedition to US, that even Alice in Wonderland knew her destination. So does it mean that Atiku does not know his destination? Okay, so let's dive into the details and see who is talking. The court also took argument from lawyers to parties on the motion filed by appellants to supply fresh evidence. Okay. President Bola Tinubu has argued the Supreme Court has urged the Supreme Court to dismiss Atiku Abubakar's application seeking to present the president's academic record. Tinubu, through his lawyer, said the candidate of the People Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, and his party went on a fishing expedition to the United States. Sahara reporters earlier on Monday reported that the Supreme Court has reserved judgment on Atiku's appeal to file fresh evidence and nullify the ruling by the Presidential Election Petition Court, which affirmed Tinubu as the winner of the presidential election. A seven-member panel of the court, led by Justice John Okuru, made the announcement after lawyers to parties adopted their briefs of argument and made final submissions. So the court also took arguments from lawyers to parties on the motion filed by the appellant to supply fresh evidence. Appellant's lawyers Chris Uche, son, urged the court to grant the motion and allow their appeal, grant the prayers sought, and disqualify Tinubu. Uche described the matter as weighty, grave, and constitutional. On their part, lawyers representing the respondents Abubakar Mahmood San, for the Independent National Electoral Commission, Chief Wole Olanipekun San for Tinubu, and Chief Akin Olujimi San for All Progressive Congress, urged the court to dismiss both the motions and appeal for lacking in merit. Tinubu's team of lawyers, led by Chief Wole Olanipekun San, argued that the foreign depositions relied upon by Atiku to be admitted in evidence were not done in the court but in private chambers in the United States. So according to him, the depositions are not even admissible in their own U.S. court. So he argued that the 180 days allowed by law for the hearing of the petition filed by Atiku and his party to nullify outcome of the 2023 presidential election had since elapsed. He further argued it would be wrong for the Supreme Court to admit fresh evidence at this stage. He said they merely went on a fishing expedition in the U.S. The evidence they are seeking to tender is not at large. It cannot be compartmentalized anywhere. Even Alice in Wonderland knew where she was going. At least she was told where she was going. So according to him, Atiku should have joined INEC as a party at the deposition proceedings in the U.S. Now, wow. So now the case has started, and what they're saying is that Atiku went to U.S. on fishing expedition, and he did not know his destination. He doesn't know where to land. That even Alice in Wonderland knew her destination. At least she was told where she was going. But Atiku does not know where he is going, even with the fishing expedition that he just completed in the U.S. So now they're telling the court to dismiss Atiku's appeal because it lacks merit. The 180 days allowed for all fresh evidence to be submitted had passed, and the case now lacks merit. Now, for these people, well, lawyers are they are part of the problems Nigerians or any country has. Dishonest lawyers will always cause problem, and I don't know how we can continue with like this, with lawyers going back and forth. So now, having made their statements in the court, and now the case has been adjourned again, so let's look at various comments coming at the heels of, Tinubu's lawyer's statement saying that Atiku went on fishing expedition. As always, watching from Chicago State University, always watching for Chicago State University. Go ahead, though. We know Supreme Court of Chair, no a small thing. Somebody say, please, Southeast and South should keep themselves out of this fight between President Bola Tinubu and Atiku because both Southwest and North don't like EU people. So please stop supporting one side because they will use it against you people tomorrow. You can see what is happening in Alaba and other places. That is it. So you're talking about Southeast and South. One man, many criminal issues, looking at T's eyes, okay, alone tells a lot. It in a while. Somebody say fear Jagaban. You prayed the court to disqualify President Tinubu as a candidate in the election, and in another breath, you call for a rerun to be conducted between you and President Tinubu. Wololani Pekusan made justices laugh at the Supreme Court today. Can you imagine? So as long as the evidence concerns the case, it must surely be considered. Freed conscience fears no accusation. Allow them to bring it on as long as you are legit, or as long as they are legit. Okay. Now, if indeed he did not forge the certificate as alleged, okay, then why is he afraid of new evidence? That's a question that has not been answered. Supreme Court must call registrar of CSU for classification of his authenticity. Nigeria judiciary world is watching you. Do the needful to afford international embracement and not embarrassment. So the problem here is that the APC, Tinubu, and INEC lawyers are there now trying to, quash. Of course, argument will continue, trying to quash Atiku'S appeal. And I'm sure they're also trying to do the same thing to Peter Obi's appeal. But again, whether they like it or not, if they like, let them uphold Tinubu as president. Everybody's suffering it, including themselves, the judiciary, apart from the few of them that have taken huge money, that have been paid heavily to thwart judgment. Normally in Nigeria, the judgment is for the rich, justice is for the rich. That is it. If you have money, you buy it. So you buy judgment in Nigeria. You don't earn it. And that's how bad it is. It's quite an unfortunate situation, I must tell you. Okay. Somebody saying here, APC is Supreme Court and Supreme Court is APC. Atiku and Obi should stop wasting time and resources. They are self-made already. Let the suffering and smiling continue. Exactly. That is exactly some people's opinion. But again, somebody must fight for deliverance. Somebody must deliver the generation. Somebody must deliver the race. Somebody must fight for the independence. And that is it. And that is what Atiku and Obi is trying to do here. They have made their money. They are already self-made. So whether they lose at the Supreme Court, they have nothing to lose as individuals. But then somebody must stand up for the rest of Nigerians. And that is what I think these guys are doing. Okay. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment.